This is Morten from INKISH, and I have the great honor and pleasure to having Christian Haneke from Sattler Media as my guest today. So welcome on INKISH, Christian.
Hi, Morten. Thank you for hosting us. So good to be here.
And it's good to have you here because we met each other a couple of years ago when we did, I think it was actually last year when we did the Tech Now Spring Forward thing, and I got to know you as a very knowledgeable young man that really, I mean, you dig into things because you want to know about things,
Thanks.
right? Isn't that true?
Yeah. Thank you.
And then also at the Haneke Innovation Days, I was again invited to a Ricoh event where you gave a presentation about your view on let's say in broad perspective the digital transformation. So why is the digital transformation? Because I mean, if you look at Sattler Media, it's offset, it's web offset, it's an amazing company with publishing, and I mean you have so many things. So why is digital at all interesting for you guys?
Yeah, so actually Sattler Media Group, as you mentioned, is a very large company for a printing company. Today we are more than 650 employees with different production sites, and our origin is, as you mentioned, the high volume web offset printing. So that was the origin when the company was founded in the 70s, printing leaflets and all that stuff. But a couple of years ago, Sattler decided to broaden the portfolio, and they made acquisitions into the direct mail business and dialogue marketing. We now have our own company, Sattler Direct Mail. And because we definitely believe that personalized marketing materials are the things the customers are currently looking for. And can complement our analog printed and conventional printed printing goods very well. So Sattler had a project and made the decision, I think two years ago, to get rid of the hybrid printing. So there was a sheet fed offset press, which was actually replaced by the Pro VC80000 from Ricoh, to print to print those direct mail pieces fully digital on high-speed inkjet. So that was more or less the case on that kind of project. And that's actually the thing we are doing. The VC80000 is now in Bad Oeynhausen. We have maybe, let's say, one half of the volume is direct mail. Another half of the volume is loose leaf collections, catalogs, and magazines. And we are not only investing into digital printing, we also make big investments in the last months into analog printing machinery. But we definitely see that both technologies are complementing each other very well. And we definitely see that high-speed inkjet printing in general is going definitely into another league in the upcoming years. So that's why digital printing is one of the key things in the Sattler investment strategy to invest in.
And I mean, the reason why we agreed to meet today is obviously because you upgraded the 70,000 to the new VC80000 that was announced today, actually. Before we talk about the machine, I was a little bit curious because, I mean, when you have this diverse range of equipment, how, I mean, you work with both analog and digital, and you talk about they complement each other. One of the things that I think a lot of printing companies may ask themselves, and maybe it's too early in a company with the volume you have, but if you look at the productivity and the quality and the ease of use on technology like the Ricoh Pro VC80000, is it now that Inkjet is starting to really be capable of replacing offset?
Yeah, I think so. So actually, it even was the thing with the Pro VC80000, but of course we all know the origin and the history of high-speed inkjet printing, which is coming from document printing, transactional, and I think it was 1 decade ago when we had the topics of quality and good enough quality and paper selection and grammages. And I think the current generations of a lot of vendors, not only Ricoh, has proven in recent years that they are now ready for being used in the commercial market. And when we compare it to analog and conventional presses, we definitely see that even Heidelberg and other analog vendors are doing a very well job, and those presses are getting faster and faster, and setup times are getting shorter. So I think it's always a little bit of a challenge and competition between digital and analog. So even if we invested into Pro VC80000, which is obviously a very excellent press, we are now using it for almost 2.5 years, and we are very happy with it. But we definitely see that there is potential for improvements. Improvements, for example, in automation, improvement on printing speed, maybe some improvement on printing quality to get really on par and a very big challenger to analog equipment. And so this are maybe the aspects we are seeing in the VC80000. And of course, for us, it's an excellent situation doing a beta, because we can compare the VC80000 directly to the Pro VC70000, and we compare it directly to state-of-art analog equipment as well.
And in the old times, it was always like you have to tell the customer this is digital, this is analog, but that is not the case anymore, right?
No. I think we now have the paper selection, which is excellent. The Pro VC80000, which we are using right now, also has the undercoating option, so you can use a kind of undercoating fluid to get better compatibility on challenging papers like uncoated or gloss. We are not using it much yet, but I think it's a great option to overcome some technical obstacles you currently have. So at the moment, I think the quality discussion is not a discussion you really need to have with your customer.
One of the things that I often hear when talking about going to digital is the operational cost, and the cost structure is totally different on digital compared to offset and analog. I think that is well known, and I don't question that at all. But I was wondering, with a company like yours that have been like in the, let's say, in the analog world and then moved into the digital world, how has that been to basically learn and sell maybe more on the value that the personalization and the short runs and all these things can give the customers?
I think there are 3 aspects important talking about that. I think the first thing is that you really need to understand what are the critical cost elements of high-speed inkjet printing. So obviously you have the ink costs, which are always relevant when talking about cost, but you also have like process costs and operator costs and energy costs. And so we are very happy to see that. I think the VC70000 was good in that, but the VC80000, for example, has a very efficient dryer. So we actually see that we can dry with very low temperatures, which is very very important for the energy consumption of it. I think the second topic is some companies are doing a mistake when they only compare the printing costs from an analog press with the printing costs of an high-speed inkjet press. We always try to analyze and evaluate the whole process. We try to keep the whole printing process as sleek as we can, and then take out the benefits from process points we do not need anymore, like external cutting or external folding and all that stuff. So I think it's important that you really compare the whole processes with each other.
How easy/difficult was it to, let's say, convince the old school guys that you have to look into the more total cost perspective rather than just looking at each segment and optimize on each of them? How difficult was that?
So honestly, I became part of Sattler when they already made the decision to buy the Pro VC70000, and they made the decision to replace the process. So I was extremely happy to see that Sattler really understood what they are doing, and the persons who were involved in the project and involved in all the calculation and sales and so on, really were ready and understood what they are doing. So I think it is a challenge. I assume that it could be a big challenge for a lot of printing companies, having this old world and new world. And I know that some of them really need a kind of a change agent to be an internal evangelist for high-speed inkjet. Maybe this is here and there part of my role here at Sattler as well. So, for example, I do a lot of sales support. I'm working extremely closely with our more than 20 sales reps over the whole company to really explain them what is different in the process, what are the chances in it, where are maybe some risks and so on. So I think, of course, you need someone and you need a company where you constantly train your people internally and always looking for the chances you have with the technology inside the market.
And talking about the market, using digital technology, I mean, one thing is that you can fit it into the schemes that you already set. But does it also give you an appetite for creating entirely new applications and new products and services?
Of course. I think this is maybe the best situation when you have a printing system in high-speed inkjet where you do not need to talk with a customer about quality, because you can start with transferring the job from one system to another or from one technology to another. And when they are seeing and getting convinced that this is working, then of course you can really brainstorm with them together and create completely new products with them, and really talk about individualization or a grade of personalization, which is much deeper and much more extensive than just printing an address on an envelope.
Christian, as we already mentioned, you became the beta test site in Germany for the 80,000. How is it to be a beta customer? I mean, I take from you got the machine till today. You have been involved in a lot of suggestions, ideas, improvements. How has that process been for you?
Yeah, so honestly, it was very, very exclusive project for us. So I think it's really time to say thank you to Ricoh, that they have chosen Sattler Media Group for being beta partner for that exciting system.
Also because you're still relatively new in
exactly,
the digital
exactly.
space, right?
We are new to Ricoh. The VC80000 was our first Ricoh machine and our first high-speed inkjet system. So we are very very happy and very proud that Ricoh selected us. Honestly, we were a little bit surprised when they came to Sattler and we had the conversation, but we already have a very, very good relationship to Ricoh. I think they definitely see the potential within Sattler. They definitely see the chances and the opportunities to compare the system within other technologies and directly with the 70,000. And of course, we are a fan of inline finishing and auto splicers, so obviously we are a perfect beta partner for it. The project itself, I think it was for me personally the first beta project of that kind of a system. And it was totally interesting. We had preparation meetings on 3 continents for it. We had, I think, engineers from more than 10 countries here on site.
Wow.
During the installation, the integration, and during the first weeks of production with it. We are doing a lot of updates on it. We have a very, very deep discussion and communication with everybody, what we like about the press, what aspect should be improved. And of course, we are extremely happy to see on what kind of status and in what condition the press is to the current state. So we are using it actually for products we are selling. So, and I think this is maybe the best message we have. And but I think for us, it's a total honor, and we are extremely happy that everybody now is obviously seeing that we're an innovative company in the digital printing, and we are a good industry partner. I think it's for us, it's a very, very interesting and outstanding project, I would say.
I would say only one thing, that if I should complain about something, Christian,
Mm-hmm.
and that is, seems to me that they forgot to update your poster behind you. It's still a VC70000, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, you're right. but I think I will prepare it, and I think I can overcome that thing as well. So yeah, obviously you are, I think, the first person from the media industry I'm talking about the press. So I was not prepared for the background.
And I want to say to the audience that I wrote to Christian yesterday. So we are not, in this case, we are not involved with Ricoh in any way. So they're not paying us anything to do this film or this interview. And I think that Christian talks on behalf of Sattler Media and not on behalf of Ricoh. So
Yes.
just to disclaim that, right? Because it is sometimes important to know. So in that process of learning the product, one of the things that Ricoh points out is the smaller footprint, and also that it's much easier to operate. How important is that? Because the reason I'm asking is because almost everywhere in the world I go, printing companies are talking about difficulties having skilled labor. Do you see also the advantage? I know that you're not operator, but I also know that you are probably so much a nerd that you have tried using the machine yourself.
Yeah.
So how easy is it to use?
Yeah. So actually, I think it was not a big part of our discussion in the preparation of the project, or when we saw the press the first time. But actually, after the first weeks of production, we definitely see that it is easier to operate. And what we are very happy to see, that, for example, the maintenance tasks of the press are very, very good controlled, and skilled operators can do a lot more things on the press by themselves, which we are very happy to see, because we already have trained operators who can do that. We have our internal maintenance staff who is always happy to help when there are things to do around it. But obviously, we definitely think that the press, will need less maintenance and less knowledge around the process by the operators, which is always good. And we definitely see that the situations where an operator needs to interrupt the process or change something is definitely less. And I think the Ricoh Pro Scanner option RIPSO is one key part of it. We definitely see that it's deeply integrated into the system, into the controller. And it's doing a good job with all the artificial intelligence around it, to do a lot things more for the operator, and the operator really can control on his work, bringing paper in, getting the products out. And there are many, I would say less interruptions from the operator needed in comparison to the VC80000.
Last few questions here. I know that having the honor of being selected as a beta customer, of course, put you in a very special situation, because I mean, you work closely with the vendor, and of course you get to know the engineers and production people and sales people and marketing people on a totally different level than you probably did before. I was just wondering, because the way I know you, and we don't know each other very well, but I think we know each other well enough to that you are, I mean, you are very, in my view, you're a very dedicated person. So when you look at the market and also look at the competitors in the market, how do you see the general development in Inkjet right now in relation again to commercial print?
Yeah, so I think from the vendor perspective, I have to say, and we met each other, I think the last time on Hankel Innovation Days, you really can see that the technology itself, independently from the vendor, is in a state where high-speed inkjet has the potential to getting out of the niche. I think we really can conclude on that. So the printing quality is in most cases not a topic. The paper selection is in general not a topic of the discussion, and the printing speed neither. So I think now we are on in a situation where you are looking more around the press. How is the automation? How is the integration with pre and post? How is integration with workflow and software systems? How we can, let's say, install a press where you need less interactions with the operator. And we were very happy to see that Ricoh addresses all these topics with the VC80000. And I think in general, it's a very important topic. So we are now in a situation where high-speed inkjet definitely has the potential to getting out of the niche. And the Pro VC80000 is one proof of that. And I think from a customer perspective, we definitely see that the trend on personalized printing goods is increasing. Definitely, we see it in our sales in direct mail. We use the VC80000, for example. We will use it mainly for direct mail production. And we definitely see the potential with the press that we can address higher volumes on direct mail pieces as well. So I think at the moment, we definitely think that the demand from the customer side on high-speed inkjet is growing, because a lot of companies understand that it is not a question print versus non-print. They understood that you need all the channels together, and personalized printing goods and printing goods in general are very, very key element of it. And high-speed inkjet is for a lot of products of that kind, the perfect technology to produce it.
Fantastic. Christian Haneke, Sattler Media, somewhere in Germany.
Somewhere in Germany, exactly.
Secret place. No, it's not so secret. I just can't remember the place, but it was great seeing you last year. Christian, thank you very much for your time. I know that you came from vacation yesterday, so you probably had more important things to do than talking to me, but I appreciate the time here, and warm congratulations on your new Ricoh device, and I'm sure we will hear more about it at some other point. And this was just great. So
thank you very much,
sir.
Bye bye.
Thank you, and say hi to Arndt and to your colleagues.
I will.
Right? Please. Okay.
I will.
That's great. Okay.
Bye bye.